Aloha, everybody from a galaxy far, far away. Today we have an action-packed episode. We are talking about Star Wars Day. We got a new pick from James Gunn about Superman, Helldivers 2 news, and then we are jumping into a new trailer by The Acolyte, and then we have reviews for Tales of the Empire, Hacks, X-Men 97, Episode 8, The Roast of Tom Brady, and Unfrosted. Stay tuned for this action-packed episode.
How's it, Sticklers? The Joystick Show is back to talk story about things we've read, watched, or played. Shock us about Hollis for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent. I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Thomas.
What up, what up?
And that's Scott.
How's it?
And tonight is episode 142.
3 is what we said.
Is what we said.
I could just see your eyes looking around. Where's the title? Where's the title?
Paper shifting.
Paper shifting?
Here somewhere.
It's episode 143. Thank you for sticking around this long. Tonight, obviously, we've got a plethora of things on our charcuterie board. In the news category, we got some Star Wars, we got some Superman, we got some Helldivers, we got some Gen V news. And in trailers, obviously, we're going to talk about The Acolyte. And in reviews, there's so many things. Tales of the Empire, Hacks, X-Men 97, The Roast of Tom Brady, and Netflix's Unfrosted. But first things first, let's get to the news.
Insert nice transition here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was Star Wars Day this past weekend on Saturday, May the 4th, and it was also Free Comic Book Day. Did you guys do anything for Star Wars Day?
I spent it eating tacos and doing a jiu-jitsu, which you could make the argument is much like doing Star Wars.
Doing the movie?
The gi and robes, right?
The fighting?
The gi and robes.
Okay.
There was a master there. There was some food. There was some
Ring guy?
Yeah, there was definitely some aliens there.
Was there milk?
There was a tres leches cake there, so yes, there was milk.
Dude, that's Star Wars.
Ooh,
Star Wars.
that's Star Wars.
You did it. You did
That's
it.
more
dude.
Star Wars than me.
Which is, okay, what did you do, Scott? And then what would you have wanted to do?
I went to work,
Okay.
Oh, sick.
Okay. So what
Yeah.
would you have wanted to do?
not
Work?
work.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, we should have like been chilling with my bros, watching Star Wars movies or something like that. You know,
Yeah,
something, dude. But
my guy.
it's one of those days where like I went to work and then I went home and I forgot it was May the 4th, so I didn't even watch any Star Wars. And then it was the next day, and I was like, "Shit, it was May the 4th." You know, so
Yeah.
So you did kind of celebrate it, just like how people like to celebrate watching the last 3 episodes of the Star Wars. I guess when there's a trilogy, but there's 2 times more trilogy.
I don't know what you're
that
talking
word
about.
is.
Trilogy?
What
Wait,
about
Because
the
they don't watch
like the
it?
sequel?
the sequels,
trilogy?
people don't like the sequels. So then
Okay.
the next day they're like, "Oh man, I didn't like those. I didn't watch them." But
oh yeah,
they did.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's how I celebrated.
The word of the
Yeah.
day is sequels.
Yeah,
Not to be confused with sequence, which
Yeah.
also could be related to Star Wars because of
That's
how
true.
shiny it is.
that's
You
true.
gave like us the Jeopardy version of the word sequel.
The
What's a
answer
word
is-
where you follow it up with 3 other things that then followed another set of movies?
Alex, what is sequel?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
He's waiting for that. This
And I was like, "Who's?" I was like, "Is Scott gonna be honest?"
yeah, I
or
was
am I
wait,
gonna be
am I
honest?
Alex?
I don't know who it was. But for Free Comic Book Day, I did go to my local comic book shop. Shout out to Kamikaze Comics here in
Sick.
Claremont, San Diego. They're such good dudes. I really appreciate those guys over there. And you know, there was comic book shops all around San Diego that were doing big events. But what was cool about this one was that they also had the 501st Legion there. So they had R2D2, they had a Darth Vader, they had one of the Inquisitors there. So it was cool. Like I felt like I got the best of both worlds. And like while I was getting ready to go, I was watching episode 1. So I got, you know, a little bit of the Star Wars feels. Plus I was wearing my R2D2 C3PO sock. So it was like, all right, I feel as much as I could be a part of this day, I'm doing it. So yeah, kudos to me.
Did you just watch it at home? Your episode 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because they brought that back to theaters as well.
Oh, that's true. They did.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the theaters for that. No.
Okay.
I too had things to do that day beyond the geek sphere. So
Right.
But yeah, they also dropped Tales of the Empire, which we'll be talking about later. Now,
wait, before you move on, didn't you also go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Did you do that? You went to
that's
the May
right.
the 4th?
Yeah, I did.
But not on the 4th, but
okay.
you went, right?
Yeah, but you went.
Just here, dude.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So
Right.
It was so cool. I
Star
forgot.
Wars. So Disney does a Star Wars night for, I think it's like 6 days 1 month and 6 days now in May.
Mhm.
And it was really cool because they transform everything in Disneyland around Star Wars. So there's a bunch of like Star Wars food. I'm not kidding. There was like 1,000 lightsabers there. It was
That's cool.
maybe even
That's a lot.
more. Maybe 5,000 lightsabers.
Whoa.
Maybe even 10. I don't know. But there was just a lot of fucking lightsabers.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I got to be in the crowd, and they had this kind of skit going on where Rey tells everybody to like light their lightsabers at the same time outside of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a cool vibe. So you're right. Maybe I did get to celebrate Star Wars Day early. But man, I couldn't find a shirt though. All I wanted to do was find a shirt.
Oh, like at Disney.
Yeah, at Disney, like a men's shirt. I couldn't find one men's shirt.
Were there unisex shirts?
I guess there was a lot of women's shirts. There was little kid shirts, but there wasn't one for like a grown ass man. Not one that I could wear that I would feel good about. And so, I don't know why, but you know, Christina got a ton of shit that was awesome, and we got like some Star Wars food, and we got to go on some rides. It was a ton of fun. So yeah,
I don't know if you can relate to this. Sometimes your best, like whatever it is, ideas come out when you're looking for that thing. Like, so if you want a cool shirt and you're seeing all the uncool shirts, you're like, why don't they just make a shirt that's like this and that and like this, and like people would buy the shit out of this.
Totally.
And like, right? And you can never
100%.
find it.
Oh yeah. One of the shirt ideas was like, man, why don't they just have a Mando shirt where you're like have Grogu on the front of it, almost like you're holding him. And they don't. Why don't they have
what the
that?
heck? Exactly.
Yeah, totally. I know. I was like, fuck, they should make. You know, like that. You're so right, dude. That's where like desperation creates inspiration in those moments.
Yeah,
and like that would have worked. That would have worked, man. But yeah, I highly recommend if you can go, because they even turned some of the other rides into like Star Wars-esque rides too. Like instead of Space Mountain, it was like Galactic
Hyperspace Mountain.
So yeah, sure. It was pretty much that. I don't know, but yeah, like they just changed some things around. It was awesome. So if you ever have the chance to go, I'd say do it. And it starts at like 9 p.m. when the rest of the park kind of closes down till 1 a.m. And Christina and I were there till about like midnight. And then
so
had to drive home.
Every day within that month and 6 days, it starts at 9 to 1. They start shifting to a Star Wars-esque.
It's like specific days. So it's not, it's like 6 days in April and then 6 days in May. So it's not like,
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like specific tickets you got to get for it. And it only counts for that time period.
Oh, 9 to 1. That's pretty cool. I thought it was just like they do a little more in the Star Wars section. That's cool to hear that like all over the park you get. And I'm sure there was at least one lightsaber per family you're seeing around there, right?
100%. Yes, exactly. Like it was like a car, you know, like for every family that has a car, like every family had at least 1 to 2 lightsabers, if not 3.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool.
Nice.
And to see how stoked people were, there was like, you walk down Main Street, on one side it's the Empire, and on the other side it's like the Rebel Alliance, and it's all lit up. Like, so half of Disney's lit up blue, half is lit up red. You can see in Cinderella's castle, it's the same way. And then there's like a DJ, and then they had a game that we didn't really play, but if you could scan like this QR code, and one side was blue and one side was red. But like, depending on how many people scanned one side or the other, like that night won, or like the Empire won that night. Or
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then
cool.
What were you a part of? Like, we won, or
that's cool. Exactly. I didn't do it.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah, but
I don't want to lose. You know, I'm not a loser. So
yeah, exactly.
Can't lose if you don't play.
Exactly. I'm on the side of like the outlaw just trying to survive to make it in this crazy galaxy. You know.
Yeah, I like that. You got a better backstory.
I'm a survivor, just like Destiny's Child. All right, so we got something else that dropped today, which is really cool. James Gunn gave us our first look at David Corenswet's Superman. Did you guys get to see the picture, and what did you think? What were some thoughts that came up?
I did. I thought it was cool. John. So I'm not too familiar with like all the different suits or whatnot. Our friend John.
Symbols.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, looks like they're going with the high neck Superman." So like, I guess he was more familiar with like that type. And I was like paying a little more attention. Like, oh, I guess it is a little higher.
Yeah. Look at this collar.
Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I saw in the comments some people were like, it doesn't look as good as Henry's, but it looks better than CW. And I'm like, okay. Like we at the same time we haven't seen this guy in action yet, so it's hard to give. You don't want to move. Like, yeah, he's bending too. He's not even standing straight up.
Exactly.
Like, give him a break.
Like that part, I can't criticize at all because it's like wait till he stands up, wait till he moves around in it before we judge. If it's better than Henry's or not. But like,
yeah.
The part that does get me is that it looks like there's a beam blasting the city, and he's just chilling, putting on his boots. That's the
right. I
only
gotta
thing
look at it.
where I was like, man, he really does not give a f what happens to the city.
Yeah, make sure your boots fit.
Yeah. Make sure there's not a snake in my boot. Drake, what were your thoughts?
I thought, oh wow, Henry Cavill's still Superman. That's cool.
You thought that guy still looks like Henry Cavill?
There is a beat.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, is that like that Henry Cavill still? I mean,
he kind of does look like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're just viewing it, I was like, oh, cool. It was pretty seamless. So James Gunn, you did a good job at casting. It looks like a Superman. There's a big window. Superman is sitting down, so that's kind of cool.
And the super sofa.
Yeah, on a super sofa. Yeah. Maybe the super dog, I forget his name. Dwayne Johnson.
Crypto.
Oh, Crypto is
Dwayne Johnson.
Didn't he play Crypto?
Yes, in the animated movie. You are right.
So, it seems like this could be pretty cool. I mean, James, I'm going to want to see what James Gunn does with it because all of the things we've seen so far have really kind of been, I don't want to say gore forward, but very honest when it comes to superhero action. So I'd like to see whether or not that's going to be the case for this.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either, but I like it. I feel like I learned a few different words today.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it looks okay. I'm just happy to be seeing the process for the Superman movie. It's cool. I didn't really have a doubt that he would look good as Superman, so it's not really a surprise to me. But the suit looks pretty dope, and I don't feel like I can fairly judge it yet. I gotta see it move. I gotta see it with special effects. And like, if we just take the last type of Superman-esque appearance, which was Supergirl in the Flash, she was fucking dope. Like, her suit looks sick. So I'm fine. Like, I think it looks good. That's kind of all I have to say about it.
Yeah, this makes me pumped for, the teaser we're eventually going to get, and then the first trailer. Like, we're that much closer to getting Superman, like a new movie, I'm always down for that. So it's got me excited for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Who do you guys think, or what do you guys think is that beam in the background? If you had to guess anything.
Yeah, go. Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, go. Your answer might be correct, and then I could steal it.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking like Brainiac.
Yeah, me too, Brainiac, dude. Yeah. 100%.
I was thinking Starro or no, I also thought Brainiac, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, you nailed it.
I think we're all on the same page there, Brainiac. Would James Gunn do Starro again?
Why not?
I'm down for it if he does it though. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I just think I think based on what we've seen of James Gunn, he likes bringing to the forefront
sexy back.
Yeah. Bring to the forefront like things that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like one that's like wants to repeat, like all his teams are like lesser known people and whatnot. Granted, he's doing Superman. Brainiac's a pretty well known villain. But if this is like another villain, I don't think he would do Starro again. Like he already did such a good job with Starro. I don't think he.
Back. Man, yeah. More pictures. I can't wait to see some of the other characters. Can't wait to see Hawk Girl. I can't wait to see who else do they have in the mix.
So you need.
I know. I'm always like say things. I'm gonna give a list and then I
Shazam
one thing.
You're looking forward again.
I don't think Shazam. At least. Not Zach Levy Shazam will never hit the big screen again. Yeah. I do not think that dude's ever getting another chance. That's for damn sure. Helldiver news. We got some Helldiver things. We are still very much playing Helldivers 2.
Oh yeah,
some shit's been going down.
Yeah, man, something crazy happened where, if you are unaware, Helldivers is a big game for PlayStation, and it's available on Steam. It's unavailable on Xbox, right? So it's like a big like PlayStation, I guess, front game. With that, I don't know if it's like it was them trying to get more people registered with the PlayStation Network or whatnot, but they made a decision like, hey, by May this date, I think it was like 5th or something like that, you would have to have created a PlayStation account in order to keep playing Helldivers 2. Which is not a problem if it's free, but it's not a problem if you like live in an area where you can set up an account. There are places around the world, like there's so many different places that play this game that don't have access to PlayStation Network, that they were just going to get locked out of the game. There were even people creating VPNs to just make like they were in areas so they could get it, and PlayStation, I guess through their AI, whatever, found that and banned them. So it's like they're like, we're actively trying to follow your rules so we can keep playing. We can't do it the right way,
right? And
we're getting banned. So because of that, it's so funny that they picked this game to do that, because this game's so about people blindly following like Super Earth, we are one. Once
it's a community thing, and you're trying to block out some of the community. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. So like once like that caught wind, and like people were making YouTube videos about it, blah blah, and they're like, the only thing we could do is to just bomb this game, like bomb review it, like say it's shit. And overnight, it went into like the 200,000s negative reviews on Steam. There were people who were posting how many hours they were playing. Like, I played for 97 hours, but PlayStation's trying to make me sign up for this thing. I want a refund. And Steam was just giving out refunds.
Right.
So shortly after that, maybe like a couple of days later, PlayStation was like, okay, never mind. Like, you don't need that anymore. And it's like all these videos like, yeah, democracy. Like, it's just so funny that it could almost be seen as like a ploy into like the meta of this game, but it wasn't. It just, that really happened that way. It's kind of, I haven't really seen anything like that since like Sonic got made to be look more like Sonic. You know?
True. Or Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Or the Snyder Cut. Yeah.
The Snyder Cut had a movement like that. Yeah. Which is so sick. Like, the Helldivers community is awesome. If you do dumb shit, if you try to like kill your teammate at the end to like take their samples, you are going to get booted so hard, or people are going to dox you on the internet, at least your username. And God, it can be kind of scary if you think about it, but it's also pretty awesome. This is like the definition of fuck around and find out in a video game form. You know, like
everyone's there that wants to have a good time and like do it right. They don't want to screw each other over. Like, we're all here to have a good time. It's like most online games are like, there's always those people, handful of people just want to be dicks, but like here, there's like no tolerance. They're like, no, dude, you dick somewhere else in some other game. It's kind of cool.
No, I know. I saw something where this guy got killed by a stratagem, and then he gets revived or reinforced. He comes back, and right as he's boarding the ship, the guy who killed him, he throws a bomb at him, kills him, and he gets on the ship, and he's like, got him back. And Reddit was like, nah, dude, you're a fucking dick. Like, yeah, no, ban this guy. What's his username? Make sure he's blocked everywhere. And like the guy who thought he was doing something cool just got completely blocked out by the internet. Yeah, I joined it too. I was like, I hate this guy. Oh no, that was a dick thing.
That's not democracy.
That's not.
That's not democracy. Well,
so
that's not for Super Earth.
That is it. But yeah, this game just continues to, it hits little snags, but it finds ways to rebound, and the community stays strong, and it's still such a fun game. Like this game I'm looking forward to the most still out of all the games that we have coming out, or we'll see if something new comes out. But as of right now, this is the game I want to play.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last bit of news is a little bit sad. But it is an interesting take, and I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this. So Andre, or Chance Perdermo, who played Andre in Gen V, the showrunners have said they will not be recasting him for the next season of Gen V. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Should they recast? And can they fill this void of Chance in the show?
I mean, why would you recast him? I don't know that that does him justice, right? Because you don't really honor his character in both life and in film. Um, and it's not as if you're gonna find somebody who has the same mannerisms and acting style, etc. So it's just gonna be a whole new person. So, and it's not like you can just introduce an alternate universe in The Boys right now. So, to me, keep it real, honor him. Let's move on, kill him off in the thing respectfully, and honor him in the show. You know what I mean?
I like that.
I like that. I completely agree with that. Exactly that. He had a very specific way of acting. Great actor, but he had his own like mannerisms and whatnot going on. It'd be too distracting, and to be honest, it's kind of like with dealing with the Helldivers thing, right? Like it's easier to just write the character out than to be like, hey, community, accept this new actor as this guy. If there's any sort of backlash, like, wait, what? That's messed up, blah blah blah. It's like it's just gonna hurt them. Like, but I also agree with them honoring the actor and all that stuff. But if you look at it from the show's point of view, like, you know, it would just like there'd be like a smaller percent chance of it working out, and why take that risk? So, yeah,
yeah, it's funny. I kind of had this devil's advocate mind going into it, but I completely agree with you guys. And the example I was using in my mind was like another tremendous actor, one of one, you know, a complete one of a kind, you know, unreplaceable by all means. But I do feel like the MCU would have been better in some ways had they recast Black Panther and have him as a leader for this new series of Avengers, which was kind of the original plan with Chadwick Boseman. You know, it was supposed to be him, Brie Larson, and Tom Holland. So, you know, it would have been cool. Like that's the only reason why I'm like, it might have been sick, but if they can do it in a way, and I agree with you, you have to respect Chance. He was tremendous. He was one of my favorite characters in Gen V. He was an awesome actor. He just had like this swag, this persona about him, this air of like just bossness. And yeah, I don't know if it would be possible to find somebody to replace him. Obviously, we would know it wasn't him, but I don't know. There was that side of me where I was like, maybe it would have been cool to still have this character in the show. But
that's true.
Yeah, so, but I agree with you. He seems pretty irreplaceable, and I'm sure that's how Marvel felt with Chadwick Boseman. So, yeah, either way, I think it's probably the smart choice for the audience who's not gonna like rebel against the show if they don't like the actor. So. All right, that brings us into trailers.
Ready?
Trailers.
Go! Trailers.
Okay, cool. Thanks. We definitely need to make a sound effect.
Yeah.
Hey. It is. It's on the way. All right, so we only have one, and it's an update to something we already have watched, which is The Acolyte. What were your guys' thoughts on it? I'll kind of kick it off, which is, it is a lot more of what we got before. I don't really even fully know what the story is. The only thing that I know is that the Squid Games actor, it seems to be his Padawan that's going around, or ex-Padawan, that's going around and killing Jedi. And that's kind of all I need to know. But this one was definitely more of the story without giving away too much. And I love that trailers are doing that lately. It's like they're showing us more, but it's not enough to where it's giving everything away, I think.
Yeah.
So I dug this trailer for that. What about you guys? Scott.
Same.
Drake.
Scott.
No, Drake.
Scott.
Drake.
Nope, you said Scott first.
Okay. Well, I felt like you kept going first.
Now that it's my turn, I'm going to kick it off to Drake.
Shut the fuck.
Well, Drake delegation will accept Scott delegations. Pass on to. Thank you, sir. This Acolyte trailer I thought was not much better than the last one, but it's a lot more context. I think I have a more general idea of what the story plot will be, which seems like murder mystery. They start off by saying, they killed a Jedi, and we're like, who? And everybody's like, who? And it sounds like there's a bunch of owls on there with lightsabers. And then
they're trying to figure out how many licks to get to the center of the lightsaber.
And at the end, you find out because the one Asian Jedi is like, "Who are you?" And then
This dude's name, so we don't call him Asian Jedi. It's Squid Games Jedi.
We just talked about like honoring an actor.
Yeah.
I know we're
segment
like
before.
Yeah.
It's so
We're like,
true.
this Asian
His name is
guy.
Lee Jung Jae.
Lee Jung Jae
He
is
is
awesome.
I
Soul,
knew that.
okay? And
Okay.
he confronts other Jedi who has a mask that is, well, it could be a Sith or the Acolyte per se. And he's like, "Who are you?" And then, pew, 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 pew. And yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got so far.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. You saying "who" like made me think of like a team of ninja Jedi that hide in trees, and when they turn on their lightsabers, it goes "who," and then just imagine like you being in the woods, and then you all of a sudden you hear "who."
Oh, that'd be
Like,
scary
punches
with the
them in the
lights coming
trees.
on.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
dang, that'd be tight.
That'd be
How
sick.
about if you just use that for like the last scene in this trailer where it's
Yeah.
all the Jedi and it's like like all the way down the line.
In a row. That'd be sick.
Oh, snap,
sick.
dude.
I'll figure out
Yeah,
how to do that on TikTok.
Yeah, let's replace it. I second what you guys are saying. Like, it definitely gives more context. It is kind of an add-on to the same trailer we got. There were definitely scenes that I've seen before, but with the underlying of like someone's murdering Jedi's, blah blah blah. You're like, okay, I get it more. It also made me kind of glad that we're getting on the Star Wars. Like, it's seeing the universe and stuff.
yes.
It makes me like it. I didn't realize I was missing like Ashoka. I was missing
Did you say Ashoka?
I did. I was hoping you just breeze past that.
Nope. Yeah.
So a shocker.
Ashoka.
I was watching Ahsoka.
Was it a shocker for Ashoka?
Ashoka Ahsoka. Super Soka.
Whap.
Or was it because we were saying Schwab the other night?
Yeah, probably.
Probably is
Because of
that.
Shwookies and shwa.
Yeah. A Schwab Shrew.
Shwa.
The other example I was gonna say was Andor, but anyway,
Schwandor.
Close.
Schwendor. Yeah. A Schwendor, and it made me miss those worlds. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to like dive into that. Whether the show is gonna be real good or not, I realized I just kind of like having a Star Wars show around. So I'm excited for that. But the show also looks good and promising. So, you know.
Yeah.
And then one Asian guy's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jae Jung Jae.
Yeah. Jae
Lee Jung Jae.
is
Is Asian. Master.
Soul. His name is Soul.
Is Soul in
Yeah.
the Star Wars?
SOL.
know?
Yeah,
Wow.
Asian
Okay.
Jedi.
I dig
Oh,
that.
nice.
I mean, there's other Asian people, but I think he's the Asian Jedi in the trailer.
It's the token Asian.
No, there's
Jedi.
another
Here we
female.
go.
Her name is Amy Sang. She's also Asian, and I think maybe a Jedi. She could be a. I don't know for sure. She's a
But
Jedi.
what did she?
Huh?
Sang. What did she?
Amy.
Sang.
She's saying Amy?
Yeah.
Winehouse
She-
song?
Yeah, Amy
Did she
Sang.
try to go to rehab?
Valerie?
No.
That's a perfect way to end that. Yeah, it just looks fun. I don't know much more about it. We get to see more of Trinity. I don't know her name either.
Oh my God.
Off the top of my head.
We are the worst.
We honor you.
We honor
Her name is Indara.
Indara, right on. Yeah,
Okay,
it
cool.
looks cool. Again, they haven't showed too much, and I'm super on board. We're going to see more of the Jedi Academy with Daphne Keen's character. She's going to blow up. I have thoughts that we might see her in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Ooh.
but I'm just going to throw that out there as X-23. I don't know, but I'd be stoked about it. I like that she's playing this different type of alien that we really haven't seen before in Star Wars.
Mm.
All this is fun, and you're right, Scott. I miss live action Star Wars stuff, even if it's Boba Fett. Like, just knowing that I have something that's Star Warsy to put on in
Yeah.
live action. We're about to get into Tales of the Empire, but in live action, it's just a good time, man. Like, just put it on, and you could just kind of chill and see what adventures you go on in a galaxy far, far away. I'm always on board with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Joystick Show.
So
Yeah.
that brings us into reviews.
Reviews. Reviews.
Yes, we already mentioned it several times. We're talking about Tales of the Empire. It dropped on Star Wars Day, and it's 6 episodes long. They're kind of around. They're like less than 20 minutes, all of them. So it's
Yeah.
not too long. And one thing I did love about it, I don't know if did you guys either get to watch it? I don't think
I
so,
have
right?
not.
Yeah. it's really cool in the sense that I did love Morgan Elsbeth's character, and she gets a lot more time to shine. The reason why I like Morgan Elsbeth's character is because of Diana Lee and Santo, Bruce Lee's niece. She just seems like such a cool person. Like, I got to see her at LA Comic-Con. She actually has martial arts training, and to hear that character come back or see that character come back, and she gets her time to shine and some of her backstory is sick. There's also another big character with Barris Mafi, I think, or Barris Offee. I don't really remember her too much from the Clone Wars, even though I watch all the Clone Wars. But that storyline didn't do much for me, I'll be honest. Like, it's cool. Like, if you love the Clone Wars and you know that character, hell yeah, you're getting more of her back. But it didn't do much for me in a way of like, oh, this is so sick. Like, I know that there's been a big part of the internet that's wanted that character to come back, but it didn't really do much for me. And I didn't really feel like it added to the Star Wars lore too much. I think it just answered that question for people who are really wondering. And the same way for Morgan Elsbeth, which was the first 3 episodes, you kind of get to see how she gets inducted by Thrawn. So that part of it is really, really cool. But I had one weird gripe in episode 2.
Okay.
And it was the same gripe that a lot of people had with Game of Thrones the last season. In episode 2, there's a fight that breaks out, and I tried to watch it twice. I changed all the settings on my TV, but I couldn't see it. It was so damn dark. I didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden, you hear this voice that's very recognizable. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I guess he's there. But I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So like that was my one gripe with it. But yeah, I didn't love Tales of the Empire nearly as much as I loved Tales of the Jedi. And so that was just kind of my take on it.
Okay.
Tales of the Crypt.
Yeah.
I would have done that probably more.
Tales of the Crypt horror Star Wars would be kind of cool.
Dude, yeah. Well, we got in the last episode of Ashoka. We got some horror.
Soccer?
Yeah.
The only thing that I like about this, as a person who hasn't watched it and may or may not watch it in the future, is that
okay.
What do you like about it?
Never watch it. What I love about it is
that the characters that we see in the live action reprise the roles in the animated, which is
that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Like Katie Sackhoff is Bo-Katan, Lars Mikkelsen is Admiral Thrawn, Danalia Inosanto is Morgan Elsbeth.
Where was Bo-Katan though?
She was in episode 1.
You didn't watch it?
Was she?
I'm just reading the IMDb, guys. I may or may not watch the show, so
I don't. Yeah, no,
maybe
you're
she's
right.
in the dark.
Maybe she was in the darkness of episode 2.
Yeah, she's probably in the dark, in the dust.
The dust. Wow. Call back. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
No, after I'll let you finish your thought.
Yeah, it's cool because you get to see the Night Sisters on Dathomir. And kind of like the history of like why Morgan Elsbeth may or may not be the last Night Sister.
Oh, nice. In regards to that episode being too dark, was that a common thing online?
I don't know. I was gonna thread it. I didn't, but I should, because I was like, anybody else, having trouble seeing episode 2?
Because Disney, if enough people say, I think Disney might even go in and lighten that up.
That's true.
For the service. And worst case, you could probably find it within a week. Someone's probably gonna put it up on YouTube. Like, here's the fight scene that no one could see. All So there's that. But Disney has been known to go back and like adjust certain things. So that'd be kind of cool if they do that. Hear that, Disney?
Let's start it.
Fix it.
Joystick saves Tales of the Empire.
Yeah. And then Drake watches it.
And then Drake actually watches it. Exactly.
I may or may not, depending on what they do.
Right. You check back in a week. Did they lighten the last episode?
He's gonna read like 20 reviews before he watches an episode. Just waste 5 hours. Should I watch this?
He's gonna watch an hour-long YouTube video about a 20-minute video.
That before,
yeah. That was the Power Ranger watch party.
Yeah.
You're like, did you watch it? No, but I did watch an hour video on it. So, and then and then you went. So you watched an hour-long video about a 45-minute video, and he was like, yeah. That was so
I forgot
good.
he did that.
Yeah.
That's so
So
funny.
good. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
That's how you do it, dude. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. All right. Last thing from me. No, that's not true. Anyways, something came back that I really dug on Max. It's called Hacks. Wow, it rhymes. Season 3,
Yep.
and God, I love this show. This might be one of my favorite comedies besides Abbott Elementary, like new comedies.
Mhm.
I love this show. It's back. It picks up kind of right where season 2 leaves off. Well, it's like a year later or so, but I mean, it feels like no time has passed because what they do with it. If you remember at the end of last season, the main chick kind of fires the other girl. Would you mind looking up their names too? She fires her, and they kind of seemingly out of nowhere, and they go their separate ways. But what is her name? Diana? No, I'm trying to think of what the main.
Your name is Soul.
Her
name
is Lee Jung Jae.
Yeah.
Lee Jung Jae. This is who? I'm sorry. Who are you talking about?
It's the main comedian. She's kind of the older lady.
Oh, Ava? No,
No,
Jean
Ava-
Smart, Deborah Vance.
Deborah Vance. That's what it is. Yeah, Jean Smart is the
Mm.
actress. Yeah. Ava is the one who basically like gets hired as her comedy writer, and then they form this like unlikely friendship kind of thing. But their relationship is so damn good. It is so good, and yet it's so funny. It's the Gen Z with the Boomer relationship,
Oh,
Yeah.
and them trying to work together, and it's done so well, man.
is it like a
She
Devil
kills
Wears
it.
Prada but comedy?
Yeah, I'd say it has elements of Devil Wears Prada in it. It does. It has a lot of that, but they're just different characters. It's not based around fashion. It's based around comedy. And the first episode or second episode, they go to a comedy festival in Canada. And
the Montreal.
yeah,
Just for laughs.
Yeah, just for laughs.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
So they meet at Just for Laughs. So you see some comedians and just kind of the industry business side of things, but they make jokes around that. Like, oh, we're going to sign that comedian. Oh, you shouldn't have signed that guy. And I would like give the joke, but I don't want to spoil it because it's pretty funny. But yeah, man. So Hacks is back in a big bad way. And Drake will like it. There's boobs.
You hear that, Drake?
Are you frozen? I think he's frozen.
I don't know
Dang
if he's
it.
frozen. I guess. Damn, man.
Yeah, he was like, that wasn't, I don't like that anymore.
We're gonna edit him in being super excited.
yeah, exactly. I'll cut something from the beginning and move it to this part.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
yeah, it's great. It's great. Oh, he's fully gone. All right.
Yeah. He had enough of that bullshit.
Yeah. He's like, good luck to editor John on this one. But yeah, that's it about Hacks.
Nice.
It's not going to be one of those shows we cover week to week, but I'll definitely, after we've all watched it, hopefully we could chat about it.
Yeah, down.
Nice. All right. Last thing from me. Episode. Wow, I said that's so weird. X-Men 97, episode 8. Did you have a chance to watch this?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I wrote some stuff down.
Did you? You wrote some stuff down?
I wrote some stuff down.
Wow.
That I wanted to mention.
Nice. Drake is back, by the way.
Oh, there he is.
Prove it.
Editor John is going to have a hell of a time now that we switch places in the boxes.
Oh,
shit. It's going to be great.
Let's all sign out one at a time so we can reset it.
Yeah. Until it works its way back into the square perfectly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They won't see this.
Yeah.
What did you think about episode 8, Scott, for X-Men?
It was freaking cool, dude. Cool. A lot of cool shit happened in this episode. A lot of things you may have wondered about, like, hey, I wonder what would happen if this character teleported with this character. What would that even look like? And we got that exact.
Totally.
There's just cool, like, solo fights with, I'm just going to say it, standouts. Wolverine falling from the sky, tearing it up. And then landing, fighting back to back with our boy Nightcrawler, tearing it up, using his tail as well, holding a sword. Badass. And then the sleeper sentinels, that was sick. Like the whole this episode was like really action packed. And I have one thing that I'm wondering about, like how come they like can't give Rogue like a booty, but they can make Magneto look like a zaddy in this? Like,
Fatty.
you know what I mean? Like,
It's a good question.
they got
That's
him
fair.
like, look, he's up in a Speedo all ripped and jacked. And it's
Right.
like,
and a black.
they're
black
not
one
trying to
for
make that
matter.
sexual. He's like
Yeah.
caged up, and then but they can't give people booties like the women. So, it's
right.
like, come on,
That's
what's
not fair.
It's not
That's
fair,
true.
dude. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because Magneto is sexy as hell. He might as well be a Magic Mike. Just hung up on an
Yeah.
X. It's
Metal
like,
Mike.
I like that.
Oh,
Damn.
nice, dude.
Magnetism Mike.
Maggie Mike.
Yeah, but dude, 100%. You're so right. That's not fair.
Yeah.
I know. Rogue's still hot as could be to me,
For
but
sure.
but yeah, she deserves to have her butt back. And that doesn't make any sense.
We're gonna make a campaign though. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. We think we should. We have to a couple campaigns we got to run online apparently.
Yeah.
But
Everyone should just look good. Equality. Like
totally.
don't take it away. Just make everyone look good.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, this episode. You're so right. This show continues to put different groups of people together. Thanks. Too bad Drake's not magnetism Drake.
We're like loud noise Drake. Heyo.
yeah. Banshee boy. But it's great because we get, Scott or Cyclops dealing with what's going on, his guilt with his son, and Jean trying to be, supportive with him. And then, that relationship with Cable, we get a nod to, was in this episode where he, Beast calls out Commertage. We get more MCU nods. And then we get the conversation with Jean and Nightcrawler about like, what are memories? Are memories like the actual things that happen, or there are emotions tied to things that, that happened to us in the past?
That was
you're like,
interesting,
wow.
yeah. Nightcrawler, he's so wise.
Dude, he's so wise in this show.
Yeah.
Whether it was the funeral last week or him in Genosha calling out Gambit on like how he feels about Rogue and everything. Dude, to this episode and him explaining to Jean like, he might as well be your son because you have all these memories. And she's like, I remember him kicking in my stomach and I remember giving birth to him, which is so crazy, but which is also a great explanation for why she feels like a mom to Cable when she's not the mom.
Yeah.
She
might as well have been, right? Like the memories are so real. Yeah. Like she remembers the cravings she had, like the food cravings. Like
the kind of cheese and oranges.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Real quick, it took me to Ready Player One. Like in the second book, they figure out a way for you to like not only record your like experiences, but like the feeling you're feeling when you're recording them. Like so you could put in a simulation of a big wave surfer, and then like while you're riding the wave, you're feeling like what they're feeling while riding the wave. Wow. And then when he said that, I was like, does that make it your memory now? Like, because you felt probably everything that you could from that scenario. So I don't know. That was just, it's something extra. Like, it's just like,
that's cool.
Non-high thoughts. Like, oh, what if, bro?
What if that was real, dude?
Yeah, dude. But
yeah. Remember there was a show on Disney Channel that would do that where like these kids could jump into athletes' bodies.
The Jersey.
Animorphs?
Was that what it? No, it was Animorphs. It was like the Animorphs though.
Yeah.
But the Jersey.
The
I think it was. And like they could be Tony Hawk or they could be Shaq, like backing down somebody and scoring, and they're like, "This was so cool." And then they could like take some of those abilities, I guess, with them or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but like that was a cool concept, and this show bringing that idea into again like a kid show who's based around comics is like a cool idea. I really like that.
I dug it.
Megan Good was in that show.
She was the Jersey.
Yeah, dude. She was Tamika.
Kind of messed up. There was a bunch of Tamikas around this time period in like Disney Channel. There was though. There was actual people named Tamika that were famous. You know what I mean? Like that's hilarious.
True. Name 2.
That was it. I just named 2.
Yeah, both of them.
Good thing you didn't say
the 2 Tamikas
3 though. I don't know.
The 2 Tamikas.
Yeah, the 2 Tamikas. I also like that theory that we're talking about. And I was like, it felt like Cable was trying over and over again. And you're like, oh yeah, I never thought about it that way. And he says it in this. Which
Did we
is
say that last week?
Did it not say it?
We said
he said it in this one.
Oh, okay. Huh? I thought we had said that last week. Maybe that he was trying to save Genosha over and over again, but couldn't before this episode came out. Did we say that?
Oh,
no,
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but
somebody
I think
had
that one
it.
episode, that was like 2 episodes ago when Genosha died.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Let's
now.
just say
We'll
we said
afterwards.
it. Okay.
We'll say we said it last week.
Right.
But that was cool. How he's like every time he tries, he just gets. It's like and you were right too. It's that moment in time that can't be changed. What is it called? It's
in the MCU, it's been called an absolute point, but in this show, they called it an anchor point.
Yeah, which is probably the same thing. Like,
yeah,
they're probably just But it was very cool that they're tying into all that. Like, hey, remember the other shows where they talked about this thing? Like, we're having that too, so we're connected. You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, nice.
That was sweet. But also the Summers now, like they're forced to all go on a mission together, and we get like the Summers family just whooping ass, and that was freaking cool.
That was cool. They even said like, let's show what it looks like to mess with the Summers. Like Cyclops said that or something.
I think I got the line, which is let's show these toasters why you don't screw with the Summers.
Yeah.
Nice. And like if it wasn't for the toasters part, that line would actually be badass.
I know.
It's
the 90s.
toasters.
Maybe the toasters is like that's like a good line, dude. In the 90s, I don't know.
Totally. I mean, Cyclops had all the cheesy lines in the 90s show and like the original the animated series. So that line still works for me.
Cyclops just blasting a hole through the mountain, and then Cable's on the back picking off dudes. And
while Jean is steering the car,
like
she's driving it with her mind.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And then when they blast out of the mountain, though, I was like, why? How come she didn't just save the car too?
Yeah.
She just let it blow up and they landed. I'm like, I guess they're walking. Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Maybe they realized they weren't going to be
cars
able
are
to
heavy.
drive their way out of that. They were going to have to fight no matter what. I don't know. But that part was kind of funny. The part like in my head canon when the Blackbird is going down again, you know, he like rips out of the back with the Porsche and then he hits it in gear and then they drift down the side of the mountain. In my head canon, I was like, must have been Gene. Gene did that. You know, because I was like, no way he could just drive out of the jet onto the mountain. So in my head, I was like, it had to be Gene.
Yeah, my thing was like, his like inner Down Toretto came out. He's just like, he just drove on the mountain. Yeah, family.
That's true. It was a family moment. Yeah. That's true.
That was wild. And then Cable, right? Or was it Gene? No, Cable was like, you have a Porsche? Like,
yeah. I know that week was solid, even though he's wearing a visor, but you know what he's doing.
Yeah, you know he winked in there.
Yeah. All of that was superb. The way it was broken down into the teams, we see that a lot of people who have been close to the mutants throughout this series are kind of turning on them too. Miss Tilby, the reporter that Beast has kind of had an on and off thing with, she's kind of one of the first to turn on them, and then that fight's pretty epic. She kind of knocks out Beast right away, but we see that Morph turns into the Juggernaut, which Frank brought up a good question. He's like, wait, I thought Morph can only copy mutant powers. Like the Juggernaut's not a mutant, so how does that work? But then I was like, the showrunner said he can take over any physical powers, so I guess that works.
But at the same time, let's hope he couldn't take over his powers because he fucking ran into Nightcrawler. So like,
yeah.
I was thinking about it too. I was like, dude, if the Juggernaut was actually moving, and then got thrown into somebody, like that guy's dead. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad. Maybe he didn't. You know, maybe he just like made him look like it.
Yeah, he transforms back pretty quick. So it's like maybe as soon as he hit him, he's turned back, whatever. But dude, these Prime Sentinels are so freaking strong.
They're
like
so
insane,
strong.
Insanely
the fact
strong.
that one can like knock out Rogue, that same guy's punching Beast, like you know, like or
about that.
Like,
although
I'm assuming they're not holding their punches. Oh, you're a little weaker than the strong one. You know, like
yeah.
You'd think there'd be some. I mean, granted, it's kind of for kids too, but you think there would be some mutants just getting punched right through, like, murdering them. But
like it was the boys or something. Just
for sure.
A hole through them. That's so true. They did kind of upgrade Beast though. If you like think about episode 1, he flips that whole Sentinel up by himself.
That's true. He's strong,
and jumps in it like.
Too.
I feel like they made Beast super strong, but then you're right. Like this kind of got knocked out quick. Anyways, all that to say, and get us to the part where Wolverine and Nightcrawler are just going back to back.
All day, back to back. Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
That was so sick. Oh, man.
And how they just kept like putting themselves back together and just like they just kept going. Like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. At that moment, I stood up and I was like, yeah, like because you rarely get to see these kind of moments from the X-Men, and that's it. The coolest parts about them is synergy attacks, them working together, using their powers together, and that was so sick. He's like, Bub, I got 6 reasons, and then Nightcrawler comes in. He's like, no, you've got 9, and he has the tail sword with the other 2 swords, like. And then him bamping around, slashing up the Sentinels while Wolverine is just doing Wolverine things. And then you called it, and later on he gets like taken up into space. Like, dude, oh
yeah, it was cool
man.
because it's cool. Like, Nightcrawler's like, we got to get these guys away from Rogue. So he just starts stabbing them and teleporting, and you just see him like, pew, 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 like just getting out of there. And then he stabs the last guy right as Wolverine stabs him too. And then they teleported, so Wolverine's like teleporting with him. That was fucking sick. It was like a POV from Wolverine's perspective.
Yeah, getting bamped.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I guess that's what it looks like. It's pretty nuts.
I didn't even think, I was like, oh, that's smart. He's like taking them out of the room. I didn't think about it in terms of like wanting to protect Rogue. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he says it right before he does that. He's like, we can't let them get to Rogue. And then he starts teleporting them out. And then they're on the roof, and then there's like hundreds coming in or whatever. But I was like, holy crap. And then just like, let's keep going. Like, oh my gosh.
Dude, yeah.
So cool.
That's so, yeah. And then, no, Wolverine gets taken up into space and then just starts slashing people down, spinning. You called that out. But that scene was really badass, too, because there's no way for him to land safely.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to, if it was anybody else, they'd be murdered or they'd wake up with 1,000,000 broken bones.
Yeah.
But he slams into the building and is just like gets back up and is ready for more. Like, God, that was so cool. This episode was awesome. We also see a lot of insane cameos in this episode. Do you want to go through some of them? The ones that you remember?
I recognize one of them.
Okay.
Only mainly because he says it too. Doom was the first one.
Dude, the first time we see Doctor Doom in the MCU, X-Men 97, episode 8. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah, man, very much Doom. He's like, don't let me backing up be like a sign that I'm okay with genocide or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very Doom. Also, like, you can't boss me around. I don't care who you think you are, which love that part. We see Baron Zemo from, a lot of people know him from Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people know him from Falcon Winter Soldier when he's dancing the club.
yeah.
Right? Like, there's that part. And then there was a mystery person where they're like, it was a woman, and she sounded Russian to me. I don't know specifically who it is. I thought it might be Black Widow's mom. That was like one theory I might have, but like I know people are throwing out like all kinds of different stuff, but I don't know. I thought my mind went there. We also see Silver Samurai, who is a Wolverine villain from Japan. Very, had a very important episode in the animated series when Wolverine goes to Japan. So he was there. We also see Omega Red. Oh, he was in the movie too. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch that movie. I'm not ashamed to say that.
It's okay.
I hate it. After the Origins one, where Ryan Reynolds got his mouth basically sealed shut, I was like, I'm out.
It was better than that movie. But Silver Samurai still wasn't the Silver Samurai we know. It was like a mech or something.
Okay.
But
That makes
it was
sense.
still kind of cool. But yeah, you watch it when you can. No rush. Yeah.
There hasn't been for over a decade.
No one's gonna watch it. No, I mean, was the other person after that? You're mentioning that we saw?
And then last one was Omega Red. And he's pretty much.
Does he have the whips?
Yeah, that come out of his wrists.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And I thought he died in the animated series because the last time I remember seeing him, he had sunk to the bottom of the ocean in a ship, and he was able to convince the government to bring Wolverine and Storm with him to the bottom of the ocean. And then, like, I don't know what he was going to do, like use them as ransom or kill them or something like that. But, so as far as we knew in this series, he was dead, but we see that he's not.
Weirdly enough, too, like, he wakes up during Magneto getting out and doing that fucking badass shit he did. Well, he just went to one of the poles.
Yeah.
And then just like set off
EMP.
The world EMP.
Yeah.
And then everyone's shutting down and he wakes up. And I was like, oh, that was interesting. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what his powers are. I don't really know too much about him, but it's like he felt the magnetism. I was like,
it's a good point. Or I was thinking maybe the power went out and that like stopped him from being in cryostasis or something.
That's probably it.
Okay, or yours could be correct.
Nope,
I'm
that's
not
probably it.
shooting it down, but that's
That sounds more logical.
yeah. It gets me into trouble sometimes. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then the last big cameo that everybody was freaking out about, we see that Spider-Man. We see Spider-Man
Oh,
is
yeah.
in the episode too.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
And
Yeah.
so many people have been saying, man, I hope they redo Spider-Man 98. Well, it looks like they very much could do it. They've acknowledged he's there. And we see New York, so it's like, yeah, Spider-Man could
be
easily
seen.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is cool. So maybe we even get Spider-Man in the last episode or something. I don't know. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. I'd be down
Yeah.
for that. Oh, show.
Yeah. So a lot of great stuff in this episode. A lot of still like the relationship building is still there, but also like the world building. I don't even know where they go with Magneto setting off that EMP. Like, is
Mhm.
everybody just going to be after mutants now? They're already turning on them now that they know that Charles is back. Oh, that's how the episode ends. With Charles is blasting into the mansion and then saying, to me, my X-Men. And it's weird who he chooses for me. He picks Cyclops and Jean.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No. Because he picks 4 people and not the guy who was right there is not one of them. But maybe it's because he's trying to call
Maybe
them.
it's because he is right
But
there.
to
Yeah.
me, it felt like these are the big 4, and like Wolverine's like, well, fuck me, right? Like
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
I felt. Like.
Hey, prof, like I'm here too.
Also, yeah, like so going back, before he lands in, Wolverine mentions that he's like, well, Magneto finally did it, and they're like, oh, what he helped, or whatever. He's like, he started the war. Like he this is the first step of war. But then also the way Professor X came in, right? I wasn't sure did the EMP throw off his trajectory, or was if it was a good day, he would have just smashed his ass into the X Mansion regardless.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I think that
what
was
the-
always the plan. Like head for the bushes and just slam headfirst into the mansion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was like, what? I mean, I guess just destroy your own mansion, but sure. Maybe he saw it was on fire. He's like, well, can't get any worse.
yeah, he's like, that's a good spot. Come to me, Max, man. Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
sorry,
we
finish.
see
He called Gina Scott.
Gene Scott and then Storm and then Beast, who's also there but just knocked out. So that was kind of weird choices. I don't know. That's just what I thought. I was like, he could have called anybody. He knows other mutants at this point. Why only
I'm
those
wondering
4?
if like maybe it's a callback to like the first time he ever did it. Those were the 4 they showed on screen, and that was like an ultimate callback or something of that sort. Maybe, but
that's true.
and like the team has grown, bro. Like
yeah,
get with it, Xavier.
You know other mutants. Like you are a founding father of Genosha. Like might call other people too. I don't know.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
But last thing I'll say about this episode is that we also see Bastion's origin story about how he comes to be. You know, I think we were kind of on track. You know, it's Nimrod who got defeated and like some of his goo got into somebody. And then because he was in that person and then he had a baby, it created Bastion. And Bastion's whole thing can talk to like machines and stuff. Yeah, that was cool. I liked seeing that. It was definitely different than the comics where he gets shoved into the Siege Perilous with Master Mold and Nimrod. Or I guess those two get shoved in there, turned into Bastion. So yeah, it's cool. I liked how they adapted that.
Yeah, because they still mention both names though, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like in the end it became the same outcome. And so now he is both Master Mode and Nimrod. And you're like, okay, I guess as long as the outcome's the same, then
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is cool. Like he can just speak to machinery. So he's just sitting there, like you see a little glimpse of it, like Jean Grey, like hearing thoughts, but he's just hearing like machines going off, like at a, like just blowing up in his ears. Like
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That actually sounds miserable.
It
'Cause,
does.
Like, a lot of people don't turn off their devices at all. Like I can't tell you the last time I turned off my cell phone. It's just been like it's died, but I haven't purposely put the power off button in a long time.
Yeah.
Dang.
But it's cool he
Do
can
you
use it
drink?
like Magneto, right? He was like restraining somebody with all like just tech stuff. I don't know, just out of the ground.
Nerd.
Nerd alert.
Ugh.
Wait. I'm curious. How often did you turn off your phone?
I reset my phone quite frequently, but I'll definitely turn it off like maybe once a month, depending on the thing that I'm doing.
Nice. Is that the rule? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Well, I don't know if that's the rule. That's just convenient for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm no Bastion, but
Maybe if you talk to it.
maybe if I talk to it. I don't want to like, you know how like sometimes when you were younger, people would say, if you hear somebody call your name, you never answer it. So I don't want to start talking to my phone and then it starts talking to me, and then AI comes to fruition. Now we have a whole Terminator situation, and now I'm fighting off T1s and T6s, and I don't even have the weaponry to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that. So are they referring to ghosts or like just strangers?
I think ghosts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. I always answer it. Thomas goes, huh? Yeah?
you're like,
What's
hello?
up?
Just in the
Yeah.
darkness. What do you want? What?
Yeah, I
What?
fucking
Yeah.
100% don't do that. If I hear anything, I just pretend I'm a dumb idiot.
And it works. Like, God, definitely move on.
Yeah. Like all these imaginary friend movies that are coming out, either whether they're scary or fun.
It's weird that they're
I'm
all
cool.
lining up like that.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hollywood, man, makes things in waves. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, I
dude.
want a Foster's Home for imaginary friends. We'll probably never get it.
Ooh.
Didn't
Although
they do
If looks good.
Miss Peregrine? Miss
It looks
Peregrine.
like something like that.
Yeah. If does kind of look like that. So,
It looks pretty cool.
all right, we got two things to quickly go through
Let's do it.
for tonight. Yeah, very quickly. We'll just talk about it briefly. Scott, take it away on the next one.
Okay, there was something that dropped on Netflix.
What was it?
It was a live event.
Yeah.
They're doing more of that. This one was the roast of Tom Brady. There hasn't been a roast in a while. This
Nope.
was pretty funny though. I didn't really
mentioned
listen
that.
to what's
Yeah.
that?
They mentioned that at the beginning. Like they're like, it hasn't been a roast in a while because everybody's too scared.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
say that. Yeah. I didn't really listen to any of like the athletes coming up and roasting Tom Brady. I don't really watch sports, so even if they were funny, I'm like,
Big
I
Nerd
sports
alert.
don't
guy
even know
over
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know the comedians, okay? And I was just kind of fast forwarding to when like they were doing their thing, but there was a lot of good stuff. I was really surprised. Like Nikki Glazer's set was like perfect.
Good.
She just
Dude.
crushed it.
Nailed it.
So much so that every comedian afterward had to like give it up to her, like that, or like whether they were like, "Wow, that was good," or like, "Hey, who the fuck wrote for you?" Like that was like too good. Like
Yeah.
like that was part of the roast, is the compliment of her doing really well. Another standout was Tony Hinchcliffe came
All
up
day.
right out of the audience and just
Yup.
crushed it. Some were too dark, and you could tell in the room everyone's like, "What?" And he didn't give a fuck, and that's what made it funny. He's just like
so
going
good.
for it. He had a really funny Bert Kreischer joke. It was just like a play on kings or something, right? They're like, Bert Kreischer's the king. He's like if Tiger King and Tiger King and what's the other guy? Meat King? What's his name?
Oh, Liver King. Yeah.
Tiger King and Liver King ate Burger King, and their liver was Martin Luther King getting beaten up like Rodney King or something. It was just like so ridiculous. Seeing other comedians break from other like
Yeah.
jokes like is just great. Like
Hilarious.
seeing Andrew Schultz afterwards like reach over and like slap Tony, like what the fuck, dude, that was hilarious. Because Andrew Schultz did great as well. Like he's also known to like really go for it as well.
Yeah. At least I
think
clip of what he did, but it was like I was like, damn, that was pretty funny. I was like, nice, Shelton.
Yeah. Well, another funny thing was like, I don't know if you saw like when Kim Kardashian went up there, she gave like a toast, and like they kind of like clap at first, but right when she's like, I like to give a toast, and like everyone just started booing, and she was like, hey, and then like I think Kevin Hart to like kind of come in and say a little something, and then it kind of cleared up. But I just thought it was hilarious. Everyone just booed her.
This one, okay, so I only watched that first hour, so I still have a ways to go. I didn't see Hinchcliffe. I didn't see what they did with Kim. Although Kim took some shots right off the bat
She
up front,
did, yeah.
which was amazing. Like props to her for even showing up. But
For sure.
Drew Bledsoe was the first up there, and I thought they were booing him, but I think they were saying Drew. But I thought they were saying boo, and I was like, damn, what'd this guy do? I was like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they were saying Drew. You know, I was fast forwarding anyone I didn't know, so I didn't really catch that.
Okay.
But they could have. We have a
Big
guy that
sports
we know on
guy, big
Island named
sports guy.
yeah, big sports guy Scott. There's a guy on Island that we know. His name is Stu, and anytime he enters the room, everyone goes Stu. So if he's on stage and he's doing a play, people do that, and it sounds like they're saying boo if you don't know, but we're saying his name, so it could be that, you know, like Drew. Yeah, common thing. Yeah. But yeah, it was funny that she got booed, and then, but like, yeah, like you're saying, to her credit, she fucking shows up. She knows what she's gonna get, and she just fucking. There was a point too where she was like, you know, doing her jokes on Tom Brady, and then she mentioned, she's like, I'm not even gonna like look at you guys because I don't know who any of you are. Like she looked at all the comedians on the left, and I was like,
Damn.
that's pretty good. Like they were all laughing.
That's
They're like, fair
fire.
enough. Like that's funny.
Damn.
But it was good. Yeah, I'd say check it out. It's 3 hours long, so
3.5 hours long, Doug.
oh, 3.5 hours. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I would just fast forward to like certain parts. I feel like you don't need
probably
to
should've
necessarily
done
watch all
that.
of it. But
Yeah. Christine and I were like,
Mm-hmm.
just put it on and we were getting through it when we get through it. And after an hour, we're like, all right, I was like, oh my God, there's 2 more hours to go. It's too late for that. So, I think I'll go back and I think I'll do what you do is kind of skip to like some of the comedians I know.
yeah.
But
Also, Sam J. I've never really heard her stuff. Like she was super hilarious too.
Really?
Watch her stuff. Yeah, it was funny.
I've seen her around, but I've never actually, dude, she performed at the comedy place right next to my house.
Yeah.
Recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wish I had gone now.
Yeah.
She's
that I know
her
she's
comedy is good. She definitely talks about things within her genre.
Like what?
Like
Like lesbian.
yeah, like lesbian, black stuff, LGBT community stuff.
Okay.
She does a really good joke about how, like the females that she dates expect her to be the man of the relationship.
Okay.
That's pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, there was that one. So when Tony went up, he had that "oh hell no" joke. It was like about her going down on women, and he was like something like along the lines like she pulls out "oh hell no that pussy" or something. It was like her eating pussy or something, and then like even Kevin Hart was like, "oh my God!" Like he was like, I think what did he said like fuck. He gave some kind of props to Tony Hinchcliffe, like in the way it was like only you could like say that. Like he said it was like such a black joke or whatever, like the way he was saying it. And he was like, he's like, you even turned into like Tyler Perry for a second when he was saying, "oh hell no." Like it was just funny. But yeah, there's a lot of like good moments in it where it had me cracking up like out loud by myself. So I'd say check it out, if not just for the comedian parts too. So
No doubt.
and like I know you mentioned earlier, Tom Brady. I don't know if he laughs more than what you see on screen. It doesn't look like he laughed that hard. He was kind of like, it was like a professionalism he had to him, right? You're saying?
That's what I was saying. Like, I was like, okay, he's getting roasted, but I really felt like he was not having fun. I really felt like he was not about some of the jokes going on. There was a lot directed at Giselle and her dating, and they kept calling him a karate guy, not like a jujitsu dude.
Jiu-jitsu guy,
Yeah, they do eventually mention it. Like, somebody even poked fun at Dana White about like him bringing his clowns to the circus or whatever.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
using them or whatnot, which was kind of funny. But man, Tom just got berated on Giselle stuff. That was oof. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like maybe he didn't think it was, and like you knew it was a good one or it was like a real dinger because he kept taking drinks. He kept taking sips of his drink.
Yeah,
and he was drinking a lot, and I don't think he's like a big drinker. So like,
that's why in the beginning, I know you probably saw it within the first hour. They kept going like, "You're so dumb for doing this. Like, why? What do you think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna go hard on you."
Dude, and I gotta give props to Kevin Hart too, because he just was like, and randomly, I'm just gonna keep saying this. He's like, "Fuck you, Tom Brady," and he just kept saying it randomly.
That was pretty funny.
And I'm like, not always a big Kevin Hart fan. Like, doesn't always like his comedy doesn't always do it for me. And in fact, Nikki Glazer's joke about his movies was amazing. She got him on that one. Good. But like, yeah, he did not look like he was having a fun time about anything that came to Giselle or him losing his family.
Yeah, and there was
like
some
brutal
friggin' jokes about that. Like, hey, she said something like, "Hey, if you wanna blah blah blah, and like all you gotta give up is your family, then this is the path you want to take," or something like that. Like,
right.
If you want another Super Bowl ring, or if you want that 8th one, all you gotta do is give up your family. It is that easy, guys. Like, so if you want that, or he's like, "Oh, you have 7. Well, now 8 because Giselle gave back to you." Like, this is like, he just wasn't. I don't know if he was ready for those. Like, oh man, those. But
yeah, he
did
seem stoked about it. But I gotta give props to Kevin Hart. He did a good job keeping it moving, and he actually had some funny stuff. Not like more hilarious than any of the other comics, but it was funnier than I was expecting. So Kevin Hart still kind of got it. Yeah,
I agree.
So yeah, all right, we'll have to tune back in and watch the rest of it. But yeah, man, I definitely got to see the rest of the comedians. You're right. Some of the football players I saw did not quite bring it.
No, dude, taking themselves too seriously. You're at a freaking roast, and then you're just stone colding it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know. Steve Austin. All right, Drake, tell us about this last comedy. Close this out.
It was also on Netflix. It was written and directed by Jerry Seinfeld, and it was a satire essentially about like 60s, 70s breakfast culture, especially around Kellogg Post, Quaker, and Ralston, which is kind of hilarious because Ralston Purina is the main name. They were essentially bought up by Nestle later. We have a huge Purina plant in Colorado.
Wait, like the dog food, the animal food?
Yes. They used to make breakfast things. Yes.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a lot of it was like a satire on like the ideas that Americans had about breakfast and what was good. And the things that were okay back then, like buying up all the sugar from Cuba or getting it from Canada, et cetera, et cetera. It was pretty hilarious. Maple syrup. Not eating pastries. The idea from a Pop-Tart, essentially, they came out to R&D that was thrown in the trash can and kids were eating, and Jerry Seinfeld character just came up to them and saw them eating those things. I'm gonna read you off the cast, or some of the cast.
Do it.
Jerry Seinfeld, Christian Slater, Jim Gaffigan, Hugh Grant, Kyle Mooney, Patrick Warburton, Amy Schumer, Max Greenfield, Cedric the Entertainer, Earthquake, Kyle Dunnigan, Sebastian Maniscalco. Maniscalco. Wow, that's so hard to say. Yep. Ashoka. Melissa McCarthy, Adrian Martinez, Jack McBrayer, Thomas Lennon, Bobby Moynihan, James Marsden, Will Allen, Felix Solis, Peter Dinklage, Bill Burr, Ronnie Chang, Cedric Yarborough, Will Armisen,
Fred Armisen,
Destiny's Child,
TLC,
Daryl Hammond, Dan Levy. Like this whole situation was just full of comedians.
Huge freaking cast,
cast, and they all had I shouldn't say important, but roles that highlighted their skills. It was to me, I was like, oh, this could be a fun thing, but it turned out to be like this huge, comedic run along. And what I mean by that is like having all the funny comedians, whether they're writers or actors or stand-ups, in this movie playing parts, all to push it forward. I don't know. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I've been summing it up to people is like, it felt like it was written like 30 Rock, but it's also a family film. Like it's written clean.
Yeah.
But everything's just boom, 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 boom. The jokes are going. And like you said, like every person they brought in to their strength, small scene or what, it was like how they do funny. And it was just like these little zingers and whatnot. And like everyone shined. And I know some people, it's weird that some people are saying like they don't like it. And I don't know if they weren't. Jerry Seinfeld has been kind of saying some wild stuff, according to some people, like the way his stances are on certain things. And I'm thinking that might be influencing some people. Like this isn't funny because of that or whatnot.
Sure.
I know he had a statement saying like this movie he wants it to be the opposite of Barbie. So like even just saying that is like, oh, you don't like Barbie, like blah, 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 controversial, blah blah.
I mean, it was a $1 billion movie.
Yeah. I think
he wanted to be successful.
There's a line in this where they say like hobo or something, and then Jim Gaffigan goes like, well, you can't say hobo anymore. They prefer bum.
Yeah.
And then of course that's changed. But it was just kind of funny how they like. There's little nods to things that are going on now. Yeah. And then, of course, there's just really silly stuff going on. Like the Milkman Syndicate in this was hilarious. Like Big Milk's like, hey, what are you doing not making cereal? Like, we got a problem now. It was just felt, it was all very fun and silly. It was great. I thought it was really good. Even like, to the instance, Kyle Dunnigan. I didn't realize that was Kyle Dunnigan until the second time he was on screen. I was like,
so
oh, fuck,
good.
That's Kyle Dunnigan, because he's just so good at voices.
Twice. Yeah.
He was like the news reporter, and he's like...
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, Walter Cronkite. And then like afterwards, he does like, he's just playing with like a toy or something. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy? And later I realized it was Kyle Dunnigan. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm probably going to watch it again at some point. Yeah. But were you able to watch it, Tom? Did you...
I wasn't able to, no.
Okay.
I just saw like little clips of it here and there, but yeah, it looks fun. And like Drake was reading out, the cast is insane. So the fact that he could get them all together to do this movie and them just have a good time, be silly, it's like, I can't wait. I gotta check it out.
It's just such a great it's comedy and satire for sure, but it's talking about things that we all grew up with, right? Breakfast cereal. Now we know that sugar is not the best. We know how it's made, what they're using in it, also not the best. And you're talking about two of the largest food manufacturers in the nation at the time. Still two of the largest. And it's a funny play on the fact it was all about a Pop-Tart, and Pop-Tarts are one of the worst things you can eat. Eat in terms of how much preservatives and like negative foods. I mean, they're delicious.
Don't tell me that.
But they show you
with
each step of the way. It was found in the trash. The way they tested it was like essentially in a toaster that they treated like it was a nuclear bomb.
Wow.
And then they're trying to sell it to the public based off of just naming. Right? It was initially called tart or Trat Pop. And then they messed it up because of Silly Putty. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Dunnigan slaps Silly Putty on the thing, and then he read it. He's like, "I'll just read off the Silly Putty," and then of course it's backwards. He's like Pop-Tart, and they're like, "It's not the name," and then they rolled with it because all of America thought. And of course, in this movie, I'm like, I don't know what's like fake and what's not. That could just be added in, or it could. I don't know. It's such a bizarre. Maybe that's real. Who knows? But
it's just real.
It was like here's an example. I was trying to think of examples of what were silly in this movie. One example was all of what is it? It's Post and
Snap Crackle Pop. Oh, but yeah, Post and Kellogg.
So Kellogg's, that's Jerry Seinfeld, them, right? They're Kellogg's.
Yeah.
And Post is
Amy Schumer and Max Greenfield. Schmidt.
Yeah, Max Greenfield. Schmidt. And so Kellogg's is having a meeting, and they're like, "We got some footage from the inside." Right? And it's a dude with a full camera, like, but it's like mounted to his mop. Yeah, and they're like, you can only see the bucket of water and stuff. I'm like, what are we seeing? He's like, we're seeing exactly what the mop is seeing. And then you see like the mop just like mopping over like actual Pop-Tarts, dripping water over things, or like paperwork. And then it's just in Schumer's face, and she's like, "Get that mop out of my face!" And then you see it from her perspective, and there's clearly a camera on there. And then they're like, "This is top of the line, like undercover stuff."
Surveillance.
And then there was they see a video of like on her desk is like Kellogg's top secret information. They're like, "How did they get that?" And like, there must be a spy here. And they're like, "Who's a spy?" And then you see like this guy buffing the floor, like, and this giant camera onto the buffer. And they're like, "Excuse me, we're having a meeting." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." And he backs out. And they're just so like, ridiculous. Everyone sees the camera and they go, "Thank you." And then they go back to their meeting. It's like, it's super silly.
Yeah.
Maybe too silly for some people, but I was cracking up. Like,
yeah, so funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
Another silly portion was like Bill Burr playing John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Really playing up that role.
Yeah.
Talking about the speech. Do not, or what is it?
Yeah. What is a big part of speech? Not
ask not. Ask
not. Yeah.
Which is
so when they start asking him,
don't
he's
ask
like, "Ask not what I can do for you." Like he means that for all things.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, sorry." Yeah. That thought that was funny. And then Bobby Monahan was hilarious. He was Chef Boyardee. He's just going like, like, and then just putting fake Italian under him.
Yeah. And then Thomas Lennon played who did he play?
Thomas.
Yeah, he's Reno 911.
Oh, he was the Nazi who came.
Oh yeah, he was the Nazi.
I love when the meeting,
the Nazi, right?
in the meeting, someone goes like, they're asking questions like, "Why are you part of the perfect team?" Because they called in like people from the best.
Where were you in the 1940s?
And he's like, "Oh, let's move past that. Yes, shall we?" And he's like, "No, I want to know." I'd like, "What were?" And he's like, "No, let's move past that." And they're like, everyone's like, "Yeah, let's move past that." Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I really want to know. Like, what were you?" Like he was involved in like some bad stuff.
Later on, they were talking about going places, and he was like, "I was planning on going to Argentina." Like just clearly playing on that point.
Where all these Nazi like officers escape to.
Yeah. So there's like a bunch of little things like all over this movie.
Yeah. What's his face? Hugh Grant playing Tony the Tiger, and how he came up with their grade and all that other stuff. It's just funny.
But he's a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
I'm bringing King Lear to the stage. Like it's just like so hilarious.
So over the top and hilarious.
Yeah.
Watch it. It's funny.
Yeah, watch it. It's so silly, so funny. Yeah, it reminds me of 30 Rock, just with the go, go, go type of dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, easy watch.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, you definitely made me excited about it. It sounds pretty funny, and I'm there for it, man. It sounds awesome. All right, well, I think that it's it for tonight. We kind of covered all the bases. We talked about some Superman stuff, Helldivers, Gen V, the Acolyte trailer, Tales of the Empire, Hacks, X-Men, Tom Brady roast a little bit, and Unfrosted. It is an action-packed episode. If you stuck with us this far, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We always could use more reviews, so if you have not gone through and reviewed us on any of your listening platforms, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, all the above, or you have not subscribed on YouTube, do that, because we could use it for sure. And yeah, it's been a fun time. Guys, any final thoughts, closing words? And then Scott, you can close this out for tonight.
No closing thoughts, just waiting on Scott's finale.
Whoa, kind of pressure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking out this far. Well-rounded episode. Tell your friends, like and subscribe. And above all, thanks for sticking with us.
The Joystick Show.
If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, we'd really appreciate a follow, subscribe, and a review. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us at JoyStickShow Joystick Show on Twitter and Instagram, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you feel like submitting topics or questions to be discussed on future episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. As always, thank you, peace out, and make it a great rest of your week.